Let's continue. Okay, so these were some of the observations. We've had some discussion on some of them. I suppose we'll take one more, which is the last one, which is not all knowledge is equal. The way we'll do it now is that if anybody's got anything that they want to contribute to that, or if you don't, then I'll move around the tables. But if anybody wants to contribute or to say anything on this last point, whether you agree or disagree, or... Okay, let's start with the table here. Did you have your hand up, brother? Yeah, please carry on. Yeah. Yeah.
Our table had come up with a response to that.
Okay, good.
Simply that not all knowledge is equal, and the basis that the Prophet himself had, I think was that in the where the Prophet had a dua that people from knowledge that is not beneficial.
Yes, exactly.
So on that basis alone, there's a distinction between knowledge that is beneficial.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's a hierarchy, isn't there?
There's a hierarchy.
There isn't there? Yes. Is there knowledge that can harm you?
Yes, there is.
Yeah? What do you think?
That track to the third point.
Yeah.
I recognize that we have spent quite some time focused on the first aspect, responsibility.
Yeah.
But not so much taking on the right.
Yes, that's true. That's a good point.
None is not acknowledged. In that there's something that when you know them, they're harmful to you. None is not acknowledged. And so you find it very common in certain circles, for instance, to keep certain information away from systems for whatever purpose.
Yeah.
Security,
Yeah.
health reasons, and so forth. And so that knowledge, you can say you have a right to it. But when you look at Islamic knowledge, clearly, you don't interact with it.
Okay, good, very good, mashallah, yeah. Can anyone think of any examples of knowledge that has been described as harmful in the Quran or the Sunnah? Is there an example, yeah? Yeah, exactly, yes, that's an example, yes. Astrology, yes, astrology, so, horoscopes, astrology, yeah. So Halima said, the angels, Harut and Marut, they brought down a certain knowledge, isn't it? And the Quran says, وَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُم. That they learn what harms them and does not benefit them. So, okay, so Jazakallah khair. What else? Malik, yeah, please. Jazakallah khair, Malik. Yeah. Helpful, yes, absolutely. Quran Sunnah is very harmful. Quran and Sunnah. Okay.
Because it's going to speak against you in the judgment if you do not act upon it. So on that basis, for someone to know and then not act or not, is that
very good.
For someone if you didn't know in the first place?
Very good.
Again, knowledge is just a means to something greater, and I can speak against you.
Yeah. So did everyone hear that? It's a very good point. It's a very good point. He said that he started off by saying, which is why I misheard him. Quran and Sunnah is very harmful, he said. I said, very helpful, Jazakallah khair. And he goes, no, harmful. I said, okay, please expand. And then he said, if you just have knowledge, which just accumulates, right? And then you don't act upon it, it can be a proof against you on the Day of Judgment. Why? Because you have something that somebody else didn't have, and yet you still didn't act upon it. Yeah, so knowledge can be harmful. Yeah, so and the Quran actually describes this in a kind of a parable. Does anybody know that parable? Huh? Yes, exactly. Surah Al-Jumu'ah. مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا. Yeah, that the likeness of those who were made to carry the Torah, meaning the Banu Israel, the children of Israel, and then did not carry the Torah, meaning they did not carry the responsibility and fulfill the responsibility of the Torah. are like donkeys, the Quran calls them. مثل الحمار كمثل الحمار, يحمل أسفارا, that carries scrolls, huge scrolls, yeah? So that's, anything else? Anybody else wants to talk about knowledge? Not all knowledge is equal. Did you guys come out with anything? Yeah?
Even in the beneficial knowledge,
Yeah?
there are certain knowledge that have precedence over it. Because, for example,
Yeah.
the Quran, knowing the Quran and the Hadith and explanation will have more, is of a higher quality because every other knowledge is dependent upon the supervisory sources.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Brother Wazir has introduced a very important concept, which is, and I'm kind of going to be touching upon this soon, inshallah, if we get time, which is that there is a hierarchy of knowledge, right? And the Quran and the Sunnah are primary. Right? And also he said that even when it comes to the interpretation of these sources, there's sometimes a higher quality interpretations than other interpretations. I think that's what you were saying as well, weren't you? Were you talking? Did I misunderstand you, or did you? Is that what you said?
Speaking privately?
No, just now.
No, I didn't went to that.
You didn't go to that. Okay. Maybe I confused it. Okay. So there's a hierarchy of knowledge. So not all knowledge is equal. Quran and Sunnah. And in the next exercise, I'm going to give you. That's why I want to emphasize the hierarchy bit. Okay. Anything else?
Can I ask?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Where does the seerah lie in that?
The seerah.
Yeah, because I remember going to a class and they were speaking about the fact that Quran and seerah is being taught very, very closely.
Should be taught closely.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
In terms of what the Sahaba did, they would be taught the seerah of Rasul very, very closely with Quran.
It's not that they would be taught closely. It's that they were living the seerah. They were living it, so they knew. They were there. It was part of their life.
But I believe in the Asbabul Nuzul.
That's what I was. Yeah, exactly. So
To understand the interpretation of the Quran, you have to get knowledge.
yeah. So the reason that speaker would have said that is because part of one of the sciences that you study in Ulum al-Quran is the occasions of revelation, which is essentially a science that you study that delves into the context of revelation. These verses were revealed in a certain context. These were revealed in other context, and that helps to interpret the Quran. So it is important to know, that there was a Meccan phase where the Prophet ﷺ went through, and then a Medinan phase, and it's important to know where do we fit in, for example, in that. Are we in the Medinan phase or are we in the Meccan phase? And how does that impact? Now, it's a very complicated thing. It's not that you can say we're in the Meccan phase, therefore alcohol's allowed now, or riba is allowed, right? We can't say that's a technical legal discussion, right? But it informs where we are, especially in terms of da'wah, by the way, especially in terms of wanting to bring about change, knowing that there's a difference on how, for example, in Mecca, very often the Prophet was always told, kufu aydiyakum, right? In the Quran, a'rid anil jahilin, isfah, isbir, be patient, forgive, withhold your hands, right? And the context is that they don't have power in Mecca. When they moved to Medina, Maulana Farahi, who's mashallah, a great the Islahi's teacher. Islahi's teacher. He was, one of the few. In terms of his contribution to the Quran, really tremendously amazing. Really a mujtahid of tafsir. And our ummah, to be honest, had very relatively few mujtahids in tafsir. There are, and there's I suppose there's reasons for that. But he lived in the last century and he's from India. But you can read his works; they're really a great expert of the Quran. And he makes an interesting point that about the steps that people should take. He said first there should be da'wah, right? And then when there's what's called itmamul hujjah, when the hujjah has been completed on people, when you've done everything that you possibly can, and there's no hope left for them coming to Islam, then you do hijrah, right? And this is why in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, Yunus, he left before his time. He did hijrah before he was allowed to do hijrah, right? Because you can only do hijrah when the time is right. And for the prophets, that's when Allah orders them to do hijrah. And that's why he was swallowed by the belly, by the whale. He was in the belly of the whale. And then after that, after hijrah, if Muslims are united, if Muslims have a place, a base, a place where they can defend themselves, then you can go on to talking about Islamic State and jihad. Without a single leader, without having a base, without having strength, you can't. Without these conditions, it doesn't make sense to start talking about military might and all of these things. So these are important things to bear in mind. But that's a bit about Makki and Madani and context. So Sirah. So that was a bit about Sirah. Anything else about? But anyway, not all knowledge is equal. There's very beneficial knowledge. There is knowledge which is a goal in and of itself, which is kind of the knowledge that gets you to the akhirah. Then there's knowledge that helps you in terms of the akhirah, that helps with that primary knowledge. And then there's knowledge which is not so useful, which is neither useful nor not useful. I don't know, for example, knowing about the World Cup, for example, I don't know, something like that. Not very useful really, is it? I mean, you're not going to stand on the judgment and say,